How's it going, everybody? I'm gonna be checking out an Inside Star Citizen video. This is called Enter Perseus, and I'm very excited about this. I was intrigued by the ship ever since it dropped, or ever since they dropped the images of it. And I mean, I really want to see what it is. I want to get in it. I want to experience it. I want to fly it. You know what I mean? I can't wait to know more about the ship. What is it going to be? What role does it play? It looks like some sort of destroyer or some battle cruiser or something. I don't know. Let's dive in.
So this ship is really a military ship. It's about destroying other big ships.
Baby.
Because it's so formidable that you're in a fight, and if somebody turns up with a fleet and it's stacked full of gunships, you're just going to be like, oh, damn.
A fleet in Star Citizen is sort of built around a capital ship, or capital ships as it's called. So you have the Javelin, which is a destroyer, so that is designed
Wow,
for really
look at
duking
that.
it out with
That's a
other
fleet,
big
man.
capital
That's a
ships.
fleet.
You have the Idris, which is a
Man, look
carrier,
at
so
that
it
big
can
ass
sort of
railgun up
take on other
front.
big ships. It's got a big railgun on the front, but primarily it's there to deliver fighters. And then
Tungsten
you have
slugs,
the
homie.
Polaris, which is a long-range torpedo boat, and you have the Hammerhead, which is a great anti-fighter screen. But what we're missing is this hybrid role that sits between the Hammerhead and the Polaris. That is
I gotta say, the Hammerhead has an awesome deck or an awesome cockpit. Or bridge, I should say. The bridge on it is like placed in a very good spot, man. I don't like when they're placed right up front or when it's like sticking out up here in some sort of bubble or tower. It's if look, we just saw that ship with the huge freaking railgun up front, right? Why are we still putting soft targets on our ships? You know what I mean? Like, yes, I understand that shields are going to be incredibly powerful. I understand that. But how many tungsten slugs are our shields going to be able to take? Are they even going to be able to withstand, something of that magnitude, something of that power, of that force? I don't know. We're seeing that ballistic weapons, a lot of times the rounds get through the shields. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's a little confusing why they keep choosing to put the cockpits or the bridges where they put them. It doesn't really make sense. It does. I guess it does. I could see it from. I could see some reasons why you wouldn't want to have, like, let's say, a fully armored cockpit or a cockpit in the middle of the ship or a cockpit just not somewhere all that visible, right? You would need to use instruments at that point. You would also need to rely on things like cameras, maybe even drones and all of that, right? So basically, you're going to be relying on electronics um, in order to be able to see and hear and everything else. So yeah, I get it. EMPs are going to be a thing. EMPs are definitely going to be a threat, and we have distortion weapons as well. So I could see it. I could see why they wouldn't want to, completely cover up a cockpit or stop using windows in the cockpits, right? Um, well, not except for with the exemption of the whatever that dropship is, that alien dropship, right? That thing has like it's fully armored. It's got like a carapace on it. But yeah, that's I don't know. It's something that still confuses me a little bit. I think we should try to innovate a little more with our ship designs,
is your fleet defense ship.
at least with the placement of the
Is
bridge.
moderately large size and capable of dishing out firepower to deal with large ship threats that aren't quite capital ships.
It has been a while since we've done an RSI ship. Obviously, there
That's
are some
interesting.
features
So it's
there,
not necessarily
and then you
geared to
take a
go
load
against
and you
capital
fold
ships.
in the functionality.
When we were designing this ship, it was obviously built around the concept of having these large turrets. That you had a bridge on the front.
Wow,
It sort of just felt like
that's
a
insane.
Polaris with a turret on the top and the bottom. And
That's insane.
a
That
ship
thing
of
is the
this
size of a ship itself.
style, having that bridge at the front didn't quite sit well with us. So we then tried alternates with a more traditional bridge, taking cues from the
See, same thing here, man. Like, I don't like the placement of I don't like the use of all this glass, and it looks like the turret also has like a little dome, a little cockpit, and it just look to me. This seems like a massive target, man. Like to be able to hit this particular area. I don't know. I don't know. It seems I I'm a big fan of the Halo franchise, right? Books, video games, you name it, TV shows, all that. And the one thing that the Covenant observed from humans, and the Covenant, if you've never played Halo or heard of it, basically the alien race, right? The alien faction that you fight with. They they would always make a point of telling humans that, or, well, not always. I shouldn't say that. But I remember them making a point once, saying that they didn't know why humans would put the bridge at the front of the ship or in just generally exposed areas, right? When their ships will always have the cockpit in the middle, or not the bridge in the middle. I don't know. It seemed like an interesting design, and I understood the logic behind it. But I don't know. I would like to see a little bit of innovation. I understand that EMPs and things like that are going to be a problem, but if we're going to have a ship like that, maybe we should come up. Maybe there should be a couple ships out there that have some sort of plating that makes them not as susceptible to EMPs, or maybe even just invulnerable to EMPs. You know, altogether. But I don't know. I don't know, just an interesting idea. It doesn't bug me too much. It is a fucking game after all, so you know.
The Bengal, and that definitely looked better, but then has the knock on that the upper front turret has a blind spot behind. So we had to make sure that the rear turret could not have a blind spot there, and then deal with the point defense system turrets to help alleviate those spots.
You want it to look aggressive.
This is I really wanted you guys to see this image. This image right here in particular, it brings back like some Agents of Shield vibes for me, and let me explain what I mean by that. In the later seasons, they rebuilt the Zephyr, right, which is basically like their mobile command center. It's a plane, a huge plane, and towards the later season, I think I was actually it was after like season 2 or 3. They had one where you could land a shuttle, which is basically an Avenger Titan. It almost looks exactly like just a little sleeker, right? You could land the Avenger Titan on top of the ship. The ship, the Avenger Titan or the shuttle would clamp onto the ship itself, and then once you would go to the back and open up the ramp, right, to get out, the ramp itself would lower into the Zephyr. So it was easy to get access to the shuttle, right? I do like hangars. Don't get me wrong. The 890 jump, I absolutely fucking love that ship, man. The big hangar in it, the ships that you can fit in it. I love stuff like that more for, I guess, more for RP reasons, more for roleplay reasons, just because to me it's enjoyable to go out to a big port, grab my big ship, and then I mean currently it's a little messed up. I'd prefer not to do it this way, but you know it's all we got. So what I do is I go out there, I go far enough so that my ship doesn't disappear, and then I just float all the way back to the station, grab a shuttle, go land the shuttle inside the ship, and then what I like to do is let's say if I'm doing like a cargo mission or something like that, I will park the ship at an OM1, OM2, OM3, whatever, and then I will take the shuttle to the down to the planet. You know what I mean? And that's something that I enjoy doing, man. If I had like a crew of people that enjoy doing that, I mean, it'd be even better, right? But I mean, it's a sandbox at the moment, and that's really all we can do. But yeah, this kind of gave me those vibes. It almost looks like there's a ship laying on top of the ship, and I would like to see some stuff like that, man. Maybe some Transformer style ships where maybe two ships make one, kind of like the Endeavor. It's just the Endeavor. It's just this massive behemoth of a ship, you know, and it's basically a traveling hotel, lab, and habitat and everything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would like to see something like that, but on a smaller scale. So maybe an explorer ship that has a fighter attached to it like that, or maybe a huge explorer ship, but with the, let's say, I don't know, maybe something half the size of a maybe like something like the size of a, let's say, a Vanguard or something like that, you know, or maybe even make a ship where the Vanguards could land like that. I don't know. You know, I got to give it more thought, but that's something that I thought was kind of interesting. It kind of gave me some Agents of Shield vibes there, and that's something that I would love to see in this game. It's I think it'd be perfect for it.
But you also want it to be unique. You want it to look like it's part of the family. When you see this ship, you know you're in trouble. That's what players are looking for.
Beautiful
So
ship,
originally
no
the
doubt.
brief for the ship was a real skeleton crew of 4 men. So you had the pilot, the captain, and the 2 turret gunners. But as we developed the ship, it sort of felt a bit odd that such a small crew was operating such a relatively large ship. So the crew size for the ship is 6 man. That gives you a pilot, captain, 2 manned turret guns because the S7 twin turrets are manned, and then it leaves you with these 2 extra roles that are really flexible in terms of what you want them to do.
So we wanted to layer in all the functionality that John wanted, but also make it easy to navigate. It should be clear for the player at any point what part of the
Okay,
ship
interesting.
they're in, and it's split over 3 decks. So the lower deck is your cargo and access to the lower turret, and then you go up, and then that's sort of the main deck, and that goes from front to back. You know, you can reach your front turret torpedo room, or you can go right back into habitation and the captain's room. And there's also a central lift for ease of navigation, basically. And then the top floor is bridge, escape pods, and engineering section. So for a player, it should all be
So the top floor is engineering. I would like to see them
really
have passages kind of like the Mercury Star Runner, where you could like go under the ship and basically see the skin of the ship, the I don't know, the the organs of the ship, I guess. It's one of my favorite things to do, man. Whenever a big ship drops, I always go straight to the engineering section just to check it out. I love seeing all the components laid out. I love seeing the wiring. I love seeing everything about that, man. And with this new tractor beam attachment that we're gonna get, it'd be nice to see ships give us more access to their hull. Because let's say there's a break in the hull somewhere, I'd like to be able to grab a metal plate, maybe one of the spare metal plates we got, use my tractor beam, place it, and put it in place, and then have someone else go and weld, just to like maybe for quick patch ups and things like that, you know. Yeah, I want to see more of that, and I hope CIG considers maybe giving us a little more access to the skin of our ships.
Complete gameplay that is growing within Star Citizen. We've already seen aspects of that with the Invictus launch week. You've seen the capital ships in game. There's obviously the Hammerhead in game already. When this is in game, you'll also have much more of a rounded fleet to play with that will provide a great threat and deterrence to other players.
The RSI Perseus is the latest concept offering available now on the Robert.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but it just looks like that top section of the ship would detach perfectly from it, you know? I know, I'm still on that, but sue me, guys, come on.
RobertSpaceIndustries.com website. And if you'd like to learn more, there's also a thread on Spectrum collecting questions ahead of a Q&A comlink that's coming in the next few days. But up next, let's look at a small feature looking to make a big impact with the new tractor beam attachment, coming online in the upcoming Alpha 3.12.
Can't wait, man.
So the desire was to get tractor beams into Star Citizen. It's a sandbox game. We want something that can manipulate physics-enabled objects. You don't always want to carry everything with your hands. The best kind of like test ground for us was to start small and with the multi-tool. This was an attachment that we wanted to add for a while now. This attachment essentially is kind of graded to lift smaller objects, so cargo crates and such. You're able to lift them up, you're able to move them closer, you're able to move them further away. You can rotate them if you want to place them, accurately inside your ship or otherwise. You can use them in gravity. Obviously, the higher the gravitational environment
That's
you're in,
cool.
the
I like
heavier
that.
the object becomes and the more the multi-tool might struggle. At the moment, we're tuning it, but it's graded to lift up to about 250 kilograms, so most of the cargo crates on your ship, it should be possible to lift up.
Wow, finally, man. Finally, you'll be able to place cargo in your Aurora easily.
Essentially, the acceleration and the lag of the object that you've actually got tethered to your multi-tool. So if you pick up a soda can or whatever, something that's really, really light, you will have that more rigid beam because the beam's not struggling to pick up something so light. But if you pick up a really heavy crate that's like full of metals or something, you will start to see that lag and the beam will be more likely to bend and break. At the moment,
Okay.
what we've got right now is work in progress, but we're working on that right now to make it feel right. Everything we show on ISC is work in progress. Jared made me say that.
Oh god, this is fucking
There is a
cool,
second
man.
function to it too, so if you start targeting large and
Wow,
massive
that
objects like ships that you wouldn't necessarily be able to pull with this thing because it's so small,
that was super legit, man. Oh.
there is a second function
Yeah,
to it
I can't
too,
wait
so
to do
if you
that.
start targeting large and massive objects like ships that you wouldn't necessarily be able to pull with this thing because it's so small, its secondary use is more like a grapple hook almost. You essentially start pulling yourselves towards these massive objects in zero-G.
That was a quick transition between
It's the Spider-Man tool.
multi-tool and weapon.
So ultimately, this is a sandbox tool. It's something that can manipulate any physics-enabled object in the game, or at least interact with it in some way. Really looking forward to see how people put this to use, because there's so many ways in which you can utilize it. There are some crazy things that we've seen internally at the moment, which sadly, some of those things we can't allow to go out because, it's going to break the game. But also there are some fun things.
That's
that
fucking
we've decided
cool,
are
man.
okay
I'm
to
gonna
do
need one of
that.
those
So
in my ship.
really, I'm very excited
Definitely.
to see videos coming out online of people
And
using
hopefully
this thing
persistence is
and
good
how
enough
it's in people's hands.
to keep it there between sessions, That'd be nice.
What did we learn this week? Well, we learned that between its menacing silhouette and massive turrets, the Perseus is meant to intimidate. That the new tractor beam attachment for multi-tools is going to open up an entire universe of traversal possibilities when it arrives in Alpha 3.12. And that the new fleece blanket that's currently available on the RSI website is more than just a super comfortable blanket. It also makes a pretty nifty backdrop if you live somewhere where it doesn't get very cold. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week.
See you, Jared. Well, there you have it, guys. Interesting. That's very interesting. And I'm excited to see that in the game. See how it performs. See what people do with it. Well, hopefully, 0.12 isn't too 3.12 isn't too far. I know it's an Iwokari phase right now. I'm an Iwokari myself. Fortunately, I can't talk about that. But yeah, hopefully things are looking good on that side, and we can get this little toy in our hands pretty soon. Well, I'll see you guys next time.